Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Traffic Talk. So please join me as I head off to work today. I think it's a little bit sunnier, so hopefully it reflects on the camera a little bit better than my previous video. So in my last video, I filmed myself renting and driving a Porsche. And I wanted to share a little bit about my experience driving the Porsche. But before I get into that, wanted to share how I rented the Porsche. So I actually got the Porsche from Turo. If you guys aren't familiar, Turo is kind of like the Airbnb of cars, and the main benefit of Turo versus a traditional car rental company like Hertz is that you get to choose the exact car that you want to rent. And I think that's pretty unique, right? So like if you can't just go to Hertz and rent a Porsche, you know, you probably just get like a Camry or I don't know, like a BMW or something like that. But you can't rent a specific model that you want to drive. And so that's really where Turo kind of comes in handy. Obviously, I'm not sponsored by Turo. I've just had really good experiences with Turo. I've rented from them 3 times, and it's been a pretty easy, seamless experience and a very fun experience. So, anyway, so I decided that, I've never driven a Porsche before, and, I tell people that I'm into cars, so it, would make sense for me to, drive different types of cars to see, you know, what it's like to be into like all these different cars, right? And so I was like, all right, let me see what all this hype is about with Porsche. So I rented one. I think it was about $220, including insurance for the day. And I rented it and I took it up to Angeles Crest Highway. Did some spirited driving, and honestly, I think my takeaway from that experience is I actually don't really like sports cars. I think I always just kind of assumed that I did because I like the fast acceleration, and I do enjoy driving. So, in my head, I was like, yeah, like of course I'll want a sports car. And, don't get me wrong, having a convertible was very nice. And I have driven convertibles before. I've driven a BMW Z4. I've driven a Mustang. I think it was a Mustang Shelby from Hertz. And I rented a 4 Series convertible as well. So I have driven sports cars before, but I've never driven like a Porsche before. And my overall takeaway from driving the Porsche is it just wasn't really a great experience. This was a 2021 Porsche. And my main issues with the Porsche was first of all, it was very loud, which I know some people like, but it's just I don't like to draw all that attention to myself. And when I go fast, I enjoy the noise, but like to a certain extent, right? Like I felt like I couldn't really hear my music at all on the highway. And it wasn't just the engine noise. Like there was just like a lot of road noise coming into the cabin, which I don't think I really experienced in the 2 BMW convertibles that I rented. In addition to that, the ride was incredibly bumpy, and yeah, it was just a very bumpy ride, and the seats were very uncomfortable. And I don't think I really realized how uncomfortable the seats were until I got back into my Honda Civic. And it's funny, once I got back into my Honda Civic, I was like, wow, I felt like I was getting back into a Rolls Royce. It was just, my Civic was just so comfortable. So that was kind of my key takeaways. Was, you know, I guess I'm just not a sports car person. I can kind of take that off my bucket list of owning like a Porsche or, you know, a sports car. It's just not really something I really, you know, really needed or really wanted. But I don't know. With that said, I did enjoy driving a BMW Z4 more. I think it was just more of a refined experience, and so that was, I think, just a better driving experience for me personally. But anyway, that was my takeaway. I don't regret renting the Porsche. The one thing I really liked about the Porsche was the burbles and the pops from the engine was really fun. I've never had a car that did that before. You know, the BMWs I rented did not burble like that, so that was pretty cool. But I only had the car for about 4 hours. I rented it for the whole day, but I didn't really want to keep it for the whole day. But after the 4 days, I was pretty happy to. After the 4 hours, I was pretty happy to get back into my Civic. So, yeah. Now, speaking of my Civic, you know, this thing has been such a beast, super reliable, but recently a check engine light actually came on, so I need to figure out that. I'm really hoping it just is nothing serious, but that is a little bit annoying to deal with. But this past weekend, I went up to Big Bear and I drove my friend's Corolla. And after driving the Corolla for a weekend, I'm realizing what a difference it makes having a car that handles well and is, you know, there's some fun in mind when it was engineered. Whereas cars like a Corolla is truly just like an appliance. And I've never really thought of, I would always hear people say that, and I never really thought about it until I had 2 days with the Corolla. And I enjoy driving, but I was not enjoying my driving experience with the Corolla. I really was not. It was just such a boring experience. It was a Corolla hybrid. I don't know if the hybrid part makes a difference, but it was honestly just and I don't know exactly what it was, but I was like driving through the mountain roads and also on the highway, and I wanted to get out of the car. Whereas I don't really feel this way about my Civic. And so, you know, if anyone's watching this and considering getting a Corolla versus a Civic, I would highly recommend doing an extended test drive and see if it makes a difference to you. If it doesn't, then, you know, choose whichever one's cheaper, more reliable, whatever. But it's actually incredible what a difference to me it is driving a Corolla versus a Civic. The Civic is just so much more fun. It also helps that, you know, I have this car tuned, so there's a little bit more pep to it, a little bit more horsepower, and it's just a really fun car. Yeah, I kind of regret not taking my car to Big Bear, but yeah, overall, this car is just really fantastic. Even compared to a Porsche, this car is fantastic. We are in a little bit of traffic, so I will cut this part and resume when there's less traffic. Alright, traffic has cleared up. There's only a little bit left before we have to open the road. One thing I learned about yesterday, and I'm actually going to try in this video, apparently turning off your AC increases your horsepower. So, I always thought it was a joke / a meme. I didn't realize it was an actual thing. So, once the road opens up, I'm gonna turn off my AC and see if I feel a difference between the acceleration. I also might try to turn off traction control since I turned the wrong thing off. Vehicle stability assist, that's what I turned it off. So it's a dry road. I think we'd be okay turning it off. I just want to see if I feel a difference. I'm gonna put it in sport mode. And man, this car is so fun. It's I feel like I'm so used to it, right? So I kind of take this car for granted. But man, this car is really such a joy to drive. So we are finally clearing up, and we are going to see what a difference it makes. Yeah, this thing pulls like crazy, but this is with the AC on. So let me slow it down a little bit, turn the AC off. You know, I can't say that I feel a difference. I might need to try on a local road and not the highway. I mean, it feels quick. It feels quick, but I don't know if I can tell the difference. I think I need to try it from 0 to 60 and see if it makes a difference. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, this car is really such a joy to drive. And it handles very well. It feels very planted. It really just hugs the road. But yes. Great car. What a great sunny day. It's been raining in Los Angeles the past 2 days, which, don't get me wrong, I really like. I love driving in the rain. I didn't get a chance to record myself driving in the rain, but I love driving in the rain, especially at night. But it's nice to have sunny days as well. I also love driving this road or this highway because you drive right past LAX and you can see the planes landing. And I don't know if the camera captures it, but there's a Korean Air 747 landing right now. So hopefully the camera was able to capture that, but it's so cool to see. I love airplanes. In regards to this channel, one thing I'm still kind of deciding on is if I should really focus on a topic. I'm kind of debating if I should just just talk about whatever I want to talk about versus if I should make videos based on maybe personal finance. I don't know. I do like talking about personal finance, but I don't know if I want to only talk about personal finance for all of my videos, right? So I think I'll stick with just talking about random things. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If not, maybe this isn't the right channel for you. But, I've still been toying with the idea of buying a Tesla used, but I don't know, after driving like Corolla and then coming back to my Civic, I feel like I have a newfound interest and respect for my car. So I think I might keep it for a little bit longer, because yeah, it's not gonna be as fast as a Tesla, but it's quick. This thing is quick. And the best part is I'm saving so much money by driving this car. This car has financially just been amazing. Whereas, if I were to get a Tesla, the depreciation is gonna be crazy. even on a used car, just like I did some rough math, the depreciation is going to be like 2 times higher than my current cost of ownership. But yeah, I guess I'm still like kind of toying with the idea. Oh, also the insurance is going to be a lot higher, which is crazy. I did a quote for a used 2022 Model 3, and my insurance is going to be $140 higher per month if I were to get a Tesla. So that would completely wipe out any savings I would get from using electricity. But hey, it might be worth it for the fun. Who knows? Anyway, I am getting close to work, so I'm going to end this video now. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Please tune in next time for the next episode. And, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much, guys.